All right, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another live stream on Woo English. My name is Hamza, and as always, I'm your host on this new live stream. Today we decided to start at 3:30 because I noticed that most of you join at 3:30, so I decided to check if 3:30 is a good time for you. So let me know in the chat if you prefer 3 p.m. or 3:30 GMT time. Otherwise, you can see the topic of today's live stream on the title of the video, or I will show it to you right now. So today the topic will be talking about the news. So talking about the news. Basically, this will be the topic for today's live stream, and I'm very excited to talk to you or talk with you about this topic. But before, let us wait until more people join, and I see that Amin is already waiting for us in the chat. I hope, Amin, that you are still there. And welcome to the live stream. How are you? So let us guys know how everything is going with you. Otherwise, I have actually a little challenge for you guys. Little challenge that I want to start with today is this small sentence that I want you to repeat three times very fast. She sees cheese, she sees cheese, she sees cheese. All right. So try to repeat this word 3 times and see if you can do that without making any mistakes. Hello, the XN Dream Team. Hello to you. Amin, I say Amin is here. Welcome, guys. So, can you guys try this little challenge and let me know how it went? So, the task is to repeat she sees cheese, she sees cheese, all right? She sees cheese 3 times without making any mistake. Avni, hello. I remember the name. Thank you. All right. It is very difficult. This is what we call a tongue twister. Let me write for you the name. Maybe you can find some more online. Tongue twister. Okay, so this is what we call a tongue twister. Tongue twister are sentences that are very difficult to pronounce. Let me give you another one actually. Um, all right, let me give you another one. So if you are done with this one, let me give you another. All right, here is another one. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Red lorry, yellow lorry. I wrote it for you in the chat. So try to repeat it again 3 times very fast without making any mistake. And we are just doing this as a form of warm up before the rest of the clan comes in. All right. So, as I said, the task that we started with today is to repeat one of these two sentences. She sees cheese, she sees cheese, she sees cheese 3 times, or to repeat red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry 3 times very fast without making any mistake. Sophia, hello to you. Welcome to the live stream. I'm very glad that you are here with us today. Okay. So try this challenge and let me know in the chat how it went. Amin says it's he did it, but it's a little bit hard, and I believe it is hard actually. It is hard. The last one is extreme. It's like say letter. Indeed, yes. The letters will be like mixed up in your mouth. I understand. Artyom, hello, my friend. And Sophia. Okay, great. I hope everything is good. Okay, so as I said, so today the topic will be talking about the news. So we will talk about the news today. So we will see sentences and stuff. But before, let me very kindly remind you of our free ebooks on our website. I will show you our website, our beautiful website. And by the way, uh, maybe in the beginning of the year 2024, we will be like launching our new application. It's an amazing application with a lot of books, a lot of activities. So this is our website. You can go to the ebook section right here, and from the ebook section you can download 32 free ebooks that are available. You can either read them on the website, on the browser, or you can download them so that you can enjoy them when you don't have like internet access. Okay, you think I can start? All right, I think I will start right now. All right. So talking about the news. So for talking about the news, actually, I want to start with you guys with some questions. And the first question I have for you today. Oops, this is we already did it. So maybe for those of you who were not here, you can write this sentence on a piece of paper and try to say it later on 3 times very fast without making any mistake. She sees cheese. She sees cheese. She sees cheese. It's very difficult actually to pronounce. Okay, so the first thing that I want to ask you about today is where do you get your news from? Of course, we all like to stay update about what's going on in the world, and we have different places that we go to when we want to check the news. So, my question to you is where do you go? Where do you go when you want to check the news? For me, for example, I don't read like the newspaper. Mostly, I just go on news websites, right? So I go like the BBC, the New York Times, the Economist. So this kind of websites, I go there and I check what's going on in the world. What about you guys? Where do you go when you want to get your news from? Anyone? All right. So let's see how you guys, or where do you get your news from? This is the question, like bigger. So for me, for example, as I said, mostly I check online website. Let's see. So for Sophia, for example, since she is in the UK, she gets her news mostly from the BBC, which is like a trustworthy. All right. Honestly, 80-90% from the internet and the rest from my friends. Interesting, interesting sources. I mean, all right. L I-24, Evelyn, an a I-24 or L-24. I didn't get it. So if you can please explain, is this a website? Is it a news station? What is this exactly? And 2% from the TV. Interesting. I mean, yeah, I understand. All right. Okay, so as I said, for me, most of the time I get my news from like websites that I trust, and yeah, I get my news from websites. I get my news from like e-news, what we call digital news or news websites. All right, the next question is how often do you watch the news? And when we say how often or how often do you get the news, uh, we are talking about, do you check the news daily every day, or do you check the news just sometimes or once in a week or several times every day? When exactly or how often do you check the news? So the first question that we asked, as we said, so where do you get your news from? I got different answers from you guys saying you get the news from online, from the internet, maybe from social media. Even some people get their news from social media, from Facebook, from Instagram, which is very interesting for me, to be honest, because well, can we really trust those sources sometimes? Facebook, Instagram, do we really trust these sources? And our uh, uh, second like source is or second question is how often do you check the news? Interesting. Good. Good. So I'm not very interested. So we say, art team, we say, I'm not very interested. Maybe we will have a session about the difference between interested and interested, right? Because when I'm describing myself, I should say I'm interested, right? Hello, Ashor Matov, my man. Hello to you. Welcome. All right. Let me first go back to Amin. So Amin says sometimes like 3 times per week, right? So 3 times per week. Good. What about Sophia? So Sophia, for the source, she said she gets her news from the BBC since she lives in the UK. And for the frequency, she says I should check every day, but not anymore because I'm very busy. Interesting. All right. TS says every day from the BBC. All right. Interesting. How much do you trust the BBC? Because I see a lot of people say, well, the BBC or any other news source. How can you trust this source but not this source? Right. These are very interesting questions. So let me just put my man Ashur Matov in the picture. So today we are talking about the news. How can we talk about the news? We will see different vocabulary. We will see different expressions that we use in relation to the news. But first, we are asking some questions. The first question was, where do you get your news from? You can still answer these questions if you want in the chat. Where do you get your news from? What is your source for news? And the second question that we are asking about is, how often do you ask about the? How often do you search for news, right? Or do you watch news? So, for example, do you watch it daily, weekly, many times per day? Let me see. Um, Eveline says, just sometimes because I listen to the news in England and it's difficult to follow news. Absolutely. I completely agree. Yeah. So it's very, very difficult sometimes to follow what's going on every day because there is a lot going on every day. I mean, from BBC, it's very famous, so I don't think that they put fake news. All right. I completely agree with you. And this is what we call credibility, right? The credibility. Credibility for news source is whether we can trust them or not. So I can say BBC is very credible, right? For a lot of people, it's a very credible source of news, right? Okay. Let's move on then to the next question. What kind of news do you watch? So, of course, we know when it comes to news, there isn't one type of news. There is sports news, economy, there is um, politics, there is sports. We said sports, I think, already. There is fun, like sometimes they share just like some stories that are fun. There are crimes sometimes. So, what kind of news do you guys like to follow? Artsim says economic news, or yes, economy. What's going on in regards to the economy? Interesting. What about the rest of you guys? What kind of news do you follow? Artsim again says, and digital news. By digital news, Artsim, what do you mean? You mean like online news? Is that what you mean? Digital. What do you mean by that? All right. What about the rest of you guys? So for Artsim, she says that she prefers economy, right? Economy. She likes to read what's going on in the economy, like with all the inflation going on, with all the crises going on. So Artem likes to stay updated about money. What's going on in regards to money? IT, I see. All right, IT. So good. Okay. What about the rest of you guys? What kind of news do you guys follow? Do you like Artyom follow football? All right. Ashur Matot says he prefers sports, specifically football news. I mean, coming again with some statistics, I really like this. 30% sports, 69 countries and wars, and 1% others. That's so accurate. I really like this. I really like this. It's very, very accurate. So for you, you like to see what's going on, like politics and stuff. And second, it's sports. And third, it's whatever they are broadcasting. Okay. What about the rest of you guys? So what kind of sports do you like? Do you watch? And of course, you can still answer the previous question that we have asked before. How often do you watch the news? Do you watch it daily? Is it important for you to watch the news daily and to stay update about what's going on in the world? And the first question that we asked is, where do you get this news from? Do you go online? Do you like read newspaper? Do you like just like to ask your friends, hey, what's going on today? All right. TS, nowadays the war between Gaza and Israel. Indeed, yeah. It's very, very tragic what's going on there. Same for Ukraine and Russia, same for what's going on in Sudan. There are a lot of wars going on right now, unfortunately. It's very sad, to be honest. All right. So I will give you maybe like that we have not seen. I assume there are numerous news. Of course, you cannot watch everything. Ashurmatov, you can't watch everything. Like it's very very difficult to keep up with everything, especially if you are busy working. Like Sophia said, let me highlight Sophia's answer again. All right, so I used to check it every day, but not anymore because I'm very busy. And this is the case probably with most people. We like to check the news. All right, here is Sophia again. Yeah, so I was saying that sometimes we like to stay update about what's going on in the world every day with everything, but it's very difficult. Um, assume, I mean, is to think, right? So when you are not sure about something, right? So just assume something. It's good to be updated if we can, exactly, and I cannot emphasize if we can enough, if we can, because most of the time we can't. It's very difficult, as I said, to stay updated with everything going on. All right, let us now move on and check some diverse vocabulary related to the news. And we will start with, of course, as we do always, we will start with some pictures. And I want you to tell me, what do those pictures represent for you? Right, let me see. Ashur Matov, my man, is explaining his words. Assume, synonym of think, namely, I think, I assume. Sure, yes. You can also say I hypothesize, or yes. So I wish the word without war. We all do, TS. We all do, but unfortunately, this is like it's kind of human nature. We cannot stop fighting about everything, and of course, like the more powerful will always like try to like erase the less powerful. Unfortunately, it's a game of power. It's there is no logic in it, to be honest. It's just a game of power. If I'm more powerful than you, then I can do whatever I want, which is very sad. All right. So let us move on to the next one. So I have, as I said, I have pictures for you, and in these pictures, I want you to tell me, in relation to the topic of news, what do you think? Orazio, hello to you. I hope everything is good for you. Okay. So as I said, this is a picture. So I will show you some pictures, and they are all related to the news. And I want you to tell me, what is the picture representing. Great, Amin. So for Amin, this picture represents, in relation to the news, of course, a journalist. A journalist. And my question to you is, what are some other synonyms for journalists that you guys know? All right, perfect. Artsim, perfect. Great. Indeed. So journalists we have so far, journalists we have reporter. I really love the efforts and the great work that you guys are doing. Indeed, yes. So we can say journalist, we can say reporter, a news agent, news agent. We can say actually news agent. We can do that. And for Ashurmatov, interviewer. And I completely agree with all the answers that you guys have given me. So let me share with you the words that I have prepared for you. The first one is journalist. Let me make this bigger. Let me make this even bigger. All right. So the first word is indeed a journalist. So journalist is like an umbrella term. It's like it includes all people who work in the journalism or in the media, right? All of them we can say journalist. But sometimes we can also say, like Artyom said, a reporter. A reporter is someone who reports the news to us. A journalist mostly is someone who collects the news and writes it down. A reporter is someone who is in front of the camera and reports the news to us. I hope the difference between these two are is clear for you guys. For interviewer Ashurmatov, we can say like we can say a reporter indeed, or interviewer. Interviewer is someone who interviews other people, right? Uh, like gives interview. I want to add another one, which is this: a correspondent. A correspondent. What is a correspondent? So I will explain again. Reporter versus journalist. We said journalist is all of people working in journalism or in the media. We can say journalist. Reporter is someone who reads or reports the news to us. But my question is, what is a correspondent? Does anyone know about this job of a correspondent? Let me see. Okay, Evelyn, political news all over the world. All right, is this the meaning of a correspondent? You are. There are some parts of your answer that are correct, actually, but you just need to phrase it better. All right. Julia says anchor. Anchor. We can say anchor. Because I'm really not sure about anchor. We can sometimes I think I've heard this, but I don't know exactly what it means. It probably refers to a reporter. If you don't mind, I will check it very quickly. Uh, all right. Let me check it because I'm not sure. Stories reviews for the broadcast. All right, interesting. Yes, so it kind of has the same meaning as reporter. Commenter. Well, we can say commentator. I think commentator, and yes, someone who comments on the news. What about? I mean, you go place of an event and start explaining by asking people in this event. Indeed, that's absolutely a correspondent, I mean. So, correspondent, the difference between a reporter and the correspondent, most of the time, is that a reporter is like inside the studio, mostly. But a correspondent is someone who goes to another country so that he can cover what's going on in there. All right. For example, there is now war in Gaza, for example. A lot of news reporters or correspondents are there. Maybe they are not Palestinian, they are not from Gaza, but they go there so that they can report what's going on in there, right? Abdu Yasir, hello to you. All right. So as I said, Julia, for this word we say normally we say commentator, right? Commentator. It's someone who comments on the news or comments on, especially uh, reports, and at the same time they comment and discuss this news rather than just reporting it. Right? They don't just give you fact; they report on it and they discuss it and analyze it. Right? But we say commentator. Okay, great. So the first three words that we have seen: journalist, we said this is general, reporter, reports the news, correspondent, goes to another country and brings us what's going on in there. What about these? What about these? And by this I mean the sector, the sector. So we can say the media, or what we can say, what can we say? The field of journalism. There is another word that we call that The field of journalism. Does anyone know what do we call the field of journalism? So a doctor, for example, works in medicine. A teacher works in education. What about a journalist? What is the field where he works? And let me probably, it's like this, right? This is exactly what it means. Or this is a verb, if we can say. Verb form. So any idea in the chat, let me know. Or if you know what are these things in the on the screen are, let me know. Anyone? Again, so maybe let me just remind all of you, or especially those of you who have just joined. So today we are having another vocabulary live stream, and the topic of today is talking about the news. Talking about the news. We have seen a bunch of words related to this guy. So we said reporter, journalist, correspondent. Now we are talking about this and the general field of journalism. All right, what do we call it in English? All right, anyone? I'm waiting. Political field. Not really what I'm looking for, artisim, because the word I'm looking for can include also economy, sports. Okay, great. So Ashurmatov at least got one word, which is newspaper. So what we are looking at is newspaper, right? So what do we call the business of newspaper? Let me put it this way. So the business of journalism and newspapers, what do we call that? Anyone? No. All right. I will reveal it. It's basically called the press. The press. All right. So the press is the field of journalism and especially the field of newspapers. Right. So we say the press. Okay. And by the way, if you look at journalists or correspondents who go to places of war, always they are wearing clothes and it's written on them the press so that they are not attacked or they are not captured. All right, because they are the press, so they are like protected by international law. Okay. All right. So we said the press, and like Ashur Matov said, what we are looking at on the screen is what we call newspaper. Newspaper are like those papers that we read in the cafe or in the morning. We read the newspaper. So this is basically what we call it. Indeed, yes. We can also see them like in football matches. TS says journalists. Sure, but as I was saying, we are looking more for the general term for the business, if we can say, the business of the media. Okay, great. So we said the press is the general field with the press. So if I'm a journalist, this means I am working in the press. I am working in the press. What we are looking at is a newspaper. Okay, let us now look at some more words. What do we call titles? What do we call titles in newspapers? And hint, hint, they are not called titles. What do we call the title that is like in red that you can see on the screen? What do we call it? It has a very special name in English. We don't call it title. We don't call it title. All right. Jan the Man is here. A big welcome to Jan the Man. Hello, Jan. How is everything with you? How was your Christmas? I hope everything was amazing with you guys. And the same for you, for the rest of you guys, by the way. I forgot to wish you all a happy Christmas for all of those of you who like celebrate it. So I hope it was a very beautiful week for you. Highlighted, not really. Highlighted. Let me help you with an example. The thing that is like in the inside the red rectangle, you will need it to finish this sentence. I don't read the whole or everything on the newspaper. I just read Ashur Matov. As I said, they are not called the title. In English, we don't say title for these things. All right, fantastic. I'm glad to hear that everything was fantastic. Julia got it. It's a headline. Great. It's what we call a headline, right? A headline are the titles of newspapers. So we don't say the title. So in this sentence, I should say, I don't read everything on the newspaper. I just read the headlines. And the headlines, of course, like they give you the idea about what's going on. All right, great. I'm very happy. Is there another name? Not that I'm sure of. To be honest, I'm doing very well. My friend Jan, I'm doing very well. I'm doing a live stream with people that I really love and people who like to interact with me. So that's I'm very thankful. Title headline indeed. As I said, Julia, sometimes we don't use like headlines a lot, right? Or title a lot. Mostly we say headline, and we will see some other expressions later on with headline. Ts, it's one word. It's one word. Ts, right? Headline is one word. What about this? So on top we have the headline. What about all those paragraphs there? What do we call them? So what about the rest of the news information? Sure. But there is an easier word. I mean, there is an easier word. Of course, we are like I'm doing my best so that I will have a good end of the year, so that I can have a good start of the year 2024. Right? Don't wait until it's 2024. Don't wait until the 21st or the 1st of January to start. Don't wait until the 1st of January. If you want to start anything, start right now, right? Start right now. Thank you. All right, thank you, Julia. Statements. Oh, okay. Statements, content. No, guy, you guys are thinking too much. I really love that you are very smart, but you are thinking too much. All right, it's very simple. This word. It's very easy word. Text, body of the news. All right, I think you guys give up at this moment. So article, article, right? So we say a news article. So there is the news headline and there is the news article. All right. So that's very simply it. An article. All right. I will let you guys like understand that that you have just guessed articles wrong. Okay, let us move to the next thing. Same thing. So we will say on the same thing. So what about that? So it's long. It's like an article, but most of the time it's long. Exactly my idea. I mean, this is why I said you guys are so smart that you think, you think a lot more than you should. All right. Indeed, yes. Content article, but the word I was looking for is article. All right. Okay. Oh, great. Perfect. All right. Fisher, Jan, Colin, Artyom. It starts with C, and the guys have already said it. It's colon, right? It's a colon. Just check if it's correct. Okay, okay. This is what we call a colon. And by the way, for the pronunciation, pay attention that we don't pronounce the M. We don't say column. We say colon, colon, without pronouncing the M. Please, you can interact with us, Orazio. All right, Orazio. Beautiful name, by the way. Orazio, you can start with, you can uh, uh, interact with us in the chat. That's how it starts, actually. I mean, can you please elaborate? What are you asking about? Are you asking about Colin? Because we have already revealed it. Um, but if you are asking about something else, please let me know exactly what you are asking about, and of course, I'll be more than happy to answer. Okay, so far, guys, how many words did you see? Did we see? So we saw newspaper, press, headline, and article, and now we saw column. There is still one more word. What do we call this page? What do we call this page? This page, by the way, is where we find the most important news. All right, the most important news, we find it on the first page. So what do we call this first page? The page. I didn't understand. I didn't understand. I don't understand your question. I mean, unfortunately. Okay. The principal page. The principal page. Good try, but not what I'm looking for. Uh, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sophia. The first line, not the first line. That's a whole page, Artium, not just one line. First page. You are getting very close, Amin. You are getting very close. Cover. Well, for cover, Jan, cover, mostly we use it with the magazines and books. But for newspaper, we don't say cover. Kind of. Not really, but kind of. I wouldn't say it's related to the first page, number one. All right, let me repeat my question. And of course, again, kind reminder to anyone here who have just joined. So welcome, of course, to the live stream. Today we are covering the topic of the news. How can we talk about the news? And the question, and we are like discovering some words related to the news. And now we are talking about the first page of a newspaper. Hello NBTD. Good, beautiful name, English. Do you also teach English? Because that will be very interesting. All right, and yeah, that will be very interesting. That you are joined with other English channels. That will be beautiful. In French, it is une, and is indeed, I understand. First page. Okay, we got a winner, and it's Julia. This is what we call the front page. The front page of the newspaper. Again, the front page. It's in the front. It's in the front. All right. It's not in the back. It's in the front. And mostly, front page is where we find the most important pieces of news. Okay, the most important pieces of news. Okay, so I can say mostly I don't read the whole newspaper, I just read the front page, meaning I just read the page where we find the most important pieces of news. Well, we are all amateurs, but you are welcome on our channel and welcome to join us. We are on the same page. Great. I really love this expression that Jan used. So if I say we are on the same page, this means that we agree. I agree with you, right? We are on the same page. Okay, fantastic, great. So I hope you are learning some more words. What about this? What about this? And let me explain to you what's going on here, what you are looking at. Basically, on some websites, especially social media like on Facebook, Instagram, the website itself hides from you certain type of content. They hide it from you. They don't want you to see it. What do we call this type of action where the news or the sources, like they hide some sources of news, or they hide some of your posts, they don't want you to see them, especially when it comes to war, when it comes to maybe like something that is graphic, right? Someone dying, something like that. They use what we have here on the screen. So what do we call this type uh of action? Great. All right. Perfect. Jan, yes. Let me see. My writing. All right. Censor. Absolutely. Jan the man, you did very well on this one. Yes, we definitely say to censor the news, right? So, censor is when certain types of news are hidden from you. You cannot watch them, you cannot see them unless you like access those types of website, right? So, to censor. And the word is censorship. Censorship. Sometimes they do it on Google, indeed, yes. Sometimes if they don't agree with you, they will hide your website. Okay, what do we call these kind of photographers? Like they follow celebrities and they take pictures of them and they harass them, and when they are like sitting with their kids, they will follow them around and take pictures of them at the cafe, at the restaurant with their kids, on dates. Do you guys know what we call these kind of? Okay, I see that you guys already know know them. Yes, paparazzi, paparazzi, paparazzi. Great. Yes, they are annoying. They can be very annoying. Let me see if I have the right word here. Okay. Okay, great. So paparazzi is the word that we have here. Now let me ask you a question. So, uh, well, let me explain this. What I mean by this. When I say I read the news, it's plural, or I read a lot of things, right? So I read the news, I follow the news. If I have one, can I say one news or one new, or what's the singular for news? What's the singular? If I say today I heard a very interesting new, or a very interesting one new, or well, how does that work? How can we say one? Can we say one news? One news, Fisher? Can we say that? One news, once. All right, Julia. That's for the previous one, I think. I well, is that are you inventing? Okay, good news. Okay, okay. I will give you the word. I will give you the word. The word very simply is a piece of news. So if I say today I read a very interesting piece of news, or today I watched a very interesting piece of news, meaning just one, right? Because news, there is no singular, right? news, it sounds plural, but it has no singular. So if we want to form the singular, we should say a piece of news. Great. NTBD and BTD already got it. Great, great. I think you are a little bit late, but you got it. I'm sure you got it on your own. Okay. All right. I will give you this expression. One article. We can say as a form of singular, Julia, we can say one article or one video, even one video. But I just wanted to include the form of the singular, all right, of news. All right. This is what I wanted to do basically. Um, okay, let me see for this one if I need to introduce it. Okay. So I will show you a little animation and let me and you guys need to tell me what happened. So what's going on here? What's going on? This is an expression in English, by the way. So can someone tell me what's going on? Why is there someone? Punchline. I love this. Great, great guess, Jan. Punchline. Great. But it's not the word I'm looking for, unfortunately. So unfortunately, that's not the word I'm looking for. Indeed, TS, indeed. For news, I think you are talking about news. Indeed, there is no single for news. But if we want to say one, we can say piece of news, all right? Piece of news. Well, do you remember what we call the headline? Okay, I've already said it. I wanted to say title, but it's fine. I already said it. Okay. So here on this little animation that you have been watching, we have a hand and it's punching or hitting the headline, right? It's hitting a headline. And that's actually an English expression. It's an expression in English to hit the headline. Great. Julia also got a punchline as a guess, but it's not what I'm looking for, unfortunately. So, simply what I mean here, I will introduce this expression. To hit the headline means to appear on the news. All right, this is basically what this means. So if I say Jan the man, I will use you in an example. So Jan hit the headlines yesterday. He was so wasted and he hit the headline. This means that the newspapers talked about our man Jan. All right, let me give you another example. All right, so the accident that happened in our town had the headline. All right. So, for example, the accident that happened in our town hit the headline. Hit the headline means it appeared on the newspaper. Okay. So, again, so hit the headline means to appear on the newspaper. To appear on the newspaper. And this is an example. The accident that happened last night uh, in our town had the headline NBTD. You are ahead of the what we have here. Okay, what do we call this? NBTD. I think you already guessed correct. Uh, Only there is a difference, by the way, between this expression that for this picture and the previous expression to hit the headline. There is a big difference. I will explain it in a moment. So for this one, our friend NBTD English says to hit the to okay, breaking news. Breaking news. Brand new. Oh wow, brand new. That's a little bit different, to be honest. That's a little bit different. Brand new is something that is very very new. Okay, the expression that I have here very simply is breaking news. Breaking news. And let me explain to you the difference between breaking news and to hit the headline. When we say to hit the headline, means it just appeared on the headline, right? Or it appeared on the newspaper. But breaking news is something that is very urgent, something that has just happened right now. The news is still hot. What about stain the front page? Breaking news. You are correct, but stain the front page. I'm not familiar with it. And if you give me stain the front page, okay, I've never heard of this expression, to be honest. Mm, I didn't find it, to be honest. I didn't find it. Stain the front page. I didn't find it on Google. Okay, so now let's do a little practice. So for this practice, basically, I have four, five, four. Okay, four sentences, five gaps, and five words on the top of the screen. And your task, basically, guys, is to like introduce or use the words or fill in the gaps with the words that we have on the top of the screen. So the words that we have are article. We talked about article. Censor is when we hide. Correspondence, journalists, and press. Okay. So Amin says number one, correspondence. Correspondence. Okay. Let's wait a bit for the rest of the guys to join. Ashormatov says also press. Oh, correspondence. Okay. So it says just stay in the first one. All right. Okay, indeed. Number one, correspondence. So we said correspondents are journalists or reporters that don't report from studio, but rather they go to another country or another city. Same thing, Artyom, yes, same answer. So they go to another city, another country, and they cover the news right there, right? And they bring us information from another country or another city. All right, so this is what the first sentence says. Number two, Amin says, the press. Same thing. Ashurmatov says the press. Arsim says press. Okay. Ashurmatov and Amin are in a big race. They are racing to finish the exercise first. Okay. Journalists work in the. So what's in the article, in the censor, in the journalist, in the press? Okay. Um, Julia, you are correct for number one, but can you scroll to the end of the video so that you are watching us live? Because I think you are a little bit late. Okay, let's reveal number two. Indeed, they work in the press. So, as you remember, we said the press is the whole field of journalism, right? The whole field of like newspaper and stuff. That's the press. Next one, a brave. Amin says journalist. Um, R. Ashurmatov says journalist. What is Artyom? Okay, that's all I have. All right. So a brave what journalist? Okay, let's see. Indeed, a brave journalist wrote a very interesting article about the climate crisis. So you guys, Amin, Ashurmatov, you guys are correct. And BTD, please do the same thing. Scroll to the end of the video, right? Scroll to the end of the video. Because I think you are a little bit late, though your answer is correct. Your answer is absolutely correct. Same thing, Julia. You are getting your answers correct, but unfortunately, you are a little bit late because we are a little ahead of you. Okay, last one. Facebook and Instagram, a lot of important posts. Amin says censor. That's it. No other one. Okay, I mean you are the first one to arrive to number five. Okay, let's see the last one. All right, censor, correspondent. Okay, press. Okay, because some of you guys are still a little bit late. That's why I was just giving you like a little bit of time, but you were a little bit late to be honest. Okay, so that was it for this exercise. I have one last exercise for you, but before I do that, let me just very kindly remind you of our amazing website. So on our website, you will find free ebooks. All right. So if you go to our website, you will find free ebooks that you can either read like online on the browser or that you can download and read like on your leisure time. This is our website, www.wooenglish.com. Right. So please do visit us. And by the way, if you join our WhatsApp channel, you will benefit from, because I share at the end of every live stream, I share some material from the live stream, right? So if you are following us on the WhatsApp channel, please make sure to follow if you aren't. And yes, and of course, stay tuned for our upcoming uh, application. Actually, we are preparing an amazing application. All right, share this one. Okay. I will finish with one last question. I will finish with one last question. Last question. What was the last piece of news you read? So we said that we say one piece of news, right? One piece of news. My question to you, what was the last one piece of news that you guys read? For the topic of Saturday, it will be, let me check because I forgot. Let me see. Mm, Sorry, I'm just checking. Otherwise, you can answer me like, okay, I'm a little late because okay, I see and BTD. All right, I see. Okay, Ashur Matov, what's going on in Saudi Arabia? Is there like something extreme with the weather there? But this is my personal YouTube channel. Just write my name like this, Sophia. Just write my name like this. Wait, let me remove the. So this is my personal YouTube channel, right? It's just my name, Hamza Jatte, right? Oh wow, yeah, I can understand. Yeah, yeah. All right. What about the rest of you guys? What was the last piece of news that you have read? Okay, okay. What is Amin? So Amin, next session or next live stream will be about. Thank you, NBTD. Thank you so much. Uh, uh, it will be expressing purpose. Expressing purpose. This will be the topic for Saturday's session. Expressing purpose. Thank you, and this is a very beautiful like a review from NBTD. Thank you. I also have a personal YouTube channel, by the way, NBTD, that you will find in the chat in the description of this video. You can visit me there, especially if you speak Arabic, because I use both Arabic and English there in the other channel. All right. What about the rest of you guys? So, what was the last piece of news that you read? Um, where is Ashur Matov, my man, says that the last piece of news that he read is that Saudi Arabia is dramatically heating. Let's see, Fisher. All right, thank you, Jan. Thank you, and you are one of our best followers. You guys are all the best, but Jan is the salt of the of these live streams. Jan is always like flavoring flavoring our discussion. It was about pollution and environment. Interesting. Let me remember. For me, I think the last piece of news that I read was about the war in Palestine. So that was probably the last thing that I've read today. And yeah, and maybe also about like politics in my country, in Morocco. I've read something about Moroccan uh, an article, salt and pepper. Sure. Article. I didn't understand your question, Amin. So if you can please word it differently, word it in another way, and I will be more than happy to address it. What I read is that the slippery political topic on the war was raging in somewhat Europe. Is there a war in Europe? Ah, okay. No, no, on the phone, on the phone. I follow like electronic news. Same for you guys. I follow electronic news. It's been a while since I last like had a newspaper, an actual paper in my hands. Uh, sure, sure. I can do that, Sophia. I can do that. You can talk to me on my Instagram, and I will answer that. My Instagram, same thing. My Instagram is the same thing. So Hamza, where is it? Like this, same. So this is my Instagram. Um, in Ukraine. All right, it's been going on for so long. Yeah, unfortunately, it's been going on for so long. And well, one of the problems with the news is that uh, sometimes the action or the event is still happening, but the news simply forgets about it. Because, for example, the war in Ukraine, it's been going on for almost 2 years now, but it's rarely covered on the news, right? Same thing for the war going on in Palestine. It's been like it was everywhere on the news at a certain point, but then people started forgetting about them little by little. And that's a very big problem, unfortunately. Um, it's very unfortunate. Unfortunately, Jan, unfortunately, we really hope like that 2024, there will be less wars and less suffering for people all over the world. And I mean, the country started with U and R. I didn't understand that, to be honest. Ukraine, is that it? And I think with that, guys, I think we arrived to the end of this live stream, I think. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. And thank you, Ashur Matov. So thank you, guys, for watching. And in Sudan as well, Sophia. So we really hope 2024 will be a peaceful year and a year of prosperity for people all over the world. We really hope there will be less war, more peace all over the world in the new coming year. See you guys in the next live stream and enjoy the rest of your day or your evening. Thank you so much.